There's a lot of great deck archetypes in Marvel Snap. Some of them win you a lot of game, but some of them are very predictable. So some of the best decks out there combine 2 or more of these archetypes to totally confuse your opponent. Get them thinking that you're playing one type of deck, and then on turn 5, 6, you lay down some other cards, totally confusing them and getting them thinking what is happening. And that's exactly what this deck does. So if you're ready to see how this ZooCula deck works, then you know what to do. Find that like button. Let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, hello, hello. What is up, Marvel Snap fans? I am ValleyFlyin. Welcome back to the Valley Snap channel. I hope you're having a great holiday week, and I hope your day is going well. We got a fun, interesting deck that we're talking about in this video called the ZooCula. Also have some other names, the ZeroCula. You could call it whatever you want, but this is a fun type of deck, and you're in store for a treat here. Now, if this is your first time here on the channel, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Snap content. We have at least 5 Marvel Stack videos per week on this channel. Usually there's more. If you've already subscribed, thank you. Welcome back. Now, this deck was not one that I created. It actually comes from one of my favorite content creators in this Marvel Snap Zone channel, and actually one of the favorite websites for Marvel Snap that I use all the time, that Marvel Snap Zone. And this is the deck he created. He called it the ZeroCula. He got it from a few other sources. I got it from him, and it features the Zoo deck. So Khazar and a lot of these one-cost cards get your opponent thinking that you're gonna go Zoo, and then you drop this Dracula on them on turn 4. Then they're totally confused, and then that Dracula either destroys a Red Skull or Infinite. Works very well. Let's go take a look at how this works. Let me explain this a little better as we go into the game. And I guess the number 1 card here that you're gonna need is the Dracula card. And at the end of the game, you discard a card from your hand, and it has that power. And ideally, you want that Red Skull discarded or that Infinite discarded. And this is not an on-reveal card. This is not an ongoing card, so you can't really counter this card. So a Enchantress or a Cosmo won't really do anything to counter this card. So normally in turn 1, you're gonna play one of these cards. You're gonna play an Iceman, you're gonna play a Sunspot, you're gonna play a Squirrel Girl, usually not on turn 1 unless you don't have any other options. Ant-Man, you usually wanna play this later, but what you definitely wanna do is get rid of one of these turn 1 cards. Ideally, if you can just play a Sunspot on one lane, followed by Armor on turn 2 so that they can't Killmonger and get rid of that Sunspot. That would be the ideal scenario. You have some other cards here, like a Lizard, that will give you some tempo. There are 2 costs for 5 power is a very good tempo play. We also have Cosmo in this deck to kind of avoid some of the on-reveal cards. And sometimes if you play this card too early, then they get their Wong on a different lane. It doesn't really matter. So trying to play this card a little later usually works best. But then we get that Khazar to boost all of these one-cost cards. And a nice ideal scenario is turn 4, we play Dracula. And in turn 5, we skip because we already have Sunspot and Armor in a lane. And then in turn 6, we play Zero and Red Skull, because those are the only cards in our deck giving us, or the only cards in our hand giving us 18 power at that one spot. And you're not gonna give the enemy cards at that location +2 power because you're playing Zero right before that. And then Dracula will discard that Infinite that's also in our hand. That would be the ideal scenario, giving us 18 power in one lane, 20 power in the next lane, all in that final turn of the game, and could be very, very debilitating for your opponent. Doesn't always go like that, but that is the ideal scenario. Now, other cards that you may want to replace, I think a lot of these cards are pretty important in this deck, especially this Red Skull card, but I guess you could replace the Red Skull or the Infinite with any other high cards. Now, you probably should have Infinite already, and it goes very well with Sunspot in the deck. So you could replace a lot of these one-cost cards. You can replace Squirrel Girl. You can replace Ant-Man. I don't know if there's more effective cards in that one-cost category than these cards here, but they are replaceable. I think, and Lizard is also replaceable, but the cards that I think you need, I think you're gonna need Sunspot. You're gonna need Armor for that protection. Zero helps with that Red Skull if you want to do that awesome turn 6 play with Red Skull. Dracula for that discard, and this is a Dracula type deck. Is one of the archetypes that we're combining with this deck. So those are the necessary cards. Khazar is a card that you should have all the way from pool 1, so you can kind of fake out your opponents, throwing all these early cards down. getting that Khazar out, but what you're really wanting is that Dracula. So Khazar is a decent card that you could throw out on turn 5 after you play that Dracula. Of course, if you play that Khazar on turn 5, you won't be able to play that Infinite there. So it all depends on what your opponent does. This is a very strong deck and has a very high win percentage. Let's go see it in action and see what this deck does. All right, Squirrel Girl, Cosmo, 0, all showing on turn 1. And I think what we'll do is we'll give them an Iceman to make it a little more challenging for them. So of these cards that we have to get rid of, we don't have Dracula in our deck yet, and we don't have an Infinite, and we don't have the Red Skull in our deck yet. Red Skull 0 is a great play for turn 6 if that happens. All right, so we can play our Squirrel Girl. We won't play our 0 right now. We're gonna hold off on that 0. We do have Cosmo and Dracula all showing. We're gonna hold off on 0. Potentially for till turn 6. All right, so there's an awesome turn 6 play with Red Skull and 0. We're gonna play that Cosmo at the far left location. I'm not sure what they're gonna do. Hopefully this screws up something that they're gonna try. All right, we get that Cosmo out early, which means that they still are going with the on reveal. They can still get some power there. Let's go with Dracula on that far right. We still have that Lizard. We still have that 0. All of it looking good so far. And the Dracula can still take out that Red Skull on that final turn there. They don't know what we have in our hand. It looked like we're going with the Zoo deck, and then we pop that Dracula in there. Ooh, all right. They destroyed their Swordmaster. Are they going with some kind of deck like a Hella deck or something like that? All right, so we still have turn 5 here. We can play Sunspot there, giving us a little more power. Do we go with the 0 right now, or do we wait? I think we can go 0 Lizard, and then whatever pops up on turn 5, we can play that. Let's go Lizard, and let's go 0. That way, if we have an Infinite on our hand, we can still play that Red Skull in that middle location. All right, so we have the Sunspot. Don't know if we're gonna have enough power to get that far left. They go Invisible Woman, which indicates they may have a Hell Cow. They may have a Hella coming up. Although not sure why they would want to keep the Hella. All right, so we can 0 this out right now. And will we get that location? It will have our Dracula destroy our armor. What do they still have to bring back? We could say screw the middle location. Let's get the far right. We'll play the Red Skull. The Dracula will destroy the armor, giving it an additional 3 power. I think that's the way to go here. That gives it the most power in our hand. All right, they get the Hella. And fortunately, everything. Oh, they get a Giganto. But we get our armor destroyed by Dracula, giving us an additional 3+ power. It all works out. That Giganto was a little scary. All right, we have Iceman, armor, and Dracula all looking good so far. The card that we draw is Infinite, so that's looking good. We're gonna start off with its Iceman, all the way on the far left. We should follow that up with an armor. Hopefully we get the armor in. Do we have Tempo? I think we're gonna have Tempo, which means that we can block them from destroying their armor, which is great for us, not as good for them. We have the Tempo, which means if they play Carnage right now, they won't be able to destroy. Oh, they play a Nova, even better for us. All right, so they won't be able to destroy that Nova or that Hood there. We have another -2. That is a 1-cost card, so they get a little bit more power from our Khazar. Let's go with our Ant-Man there, making him think that we're gonna go full on Zoo. And I think what we're gonna do, play Dracula in the middle there. They can't see what we're gonna do. We'll surprise them with that Dracula. All right, they destroy that ninja there. They get the demon on that far left. We're gonna go Dracula in the middle. And we'll put Khazar here on turn 5, followed by a 0. And it looks like we might be able to play a Red Skull. Let's see what pops into our hand. Let's see what we got to get rid of to make sure that we get that 20 power on that middle location as Dracula destroys Infinite. All right, what are they gonna do? We could go Khazar. We also got that 0 Red Skull play. But I think what we do is go Khazar. And I think we go Khazar on the far right. Right, they got a Forge, they got a Deadpool. Are they gonna be able to destroy that? All right, so we actually could go. Oh, I'm liking this play. All right, so we got Sunspot, we got Khazar here, and then we also have a follow-up with 0 Red Skull for turn 6, and Dracula would destroy Infinite. I'm liking how this is playing out. Let's snap here. That should give us at least the right and the middle. Still not sure about this left. Pretty tied up at this point. Will they get more than 20 power? Are they placing more than 20 power in the middle? That's the big question right now. All right, oh, so we have a Lizard, unfortunately. So we could go with 0 Lizard on the far left. That should give us 8. That'll give us 11 on that far left. Not sure if that's going to be enough to win it. We also have that 0 Red Skull option for that far left. And I think that's what we do when we chance it with our Lizard. It's a 50-50 shot right here. If he destroys a Lizard or the Infinite, that may still be enough to win both of these locations though. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this. And hopefully Dracula destroys Infinite and not Lizard. That's still gonna give us 5 power in the middle. Let's see what they do to finish off with these. We have that Red Skull, so I think we get the left location. And it looks like we're gonna get the, ooh, maybe not. Let's see what Ant-Man does. It's tied in the middle. They have the Bucky Barnes, they have the Deathlock. And it looks like they're gonna get the win. We get the Infinite. All right, I think even if they got the 5 power there, I think with the big lead that we had on the right, even if our Dracula destroyed that Lizard, gave us the tie in the middle, I think because of the power difference, we still would have won there. So I think we won either way, no matter who Dracula destroyed. All right, we're going after it again. Iceman, Infinite, Khazar, all on turn 1. Draw 1 cost card from our deck. We have a Sunspot, and I think I'd rather screw them up a little bit with Iceman. So Iceman turn 1. Let's go. We also have that Infinite Sunspot play. Oh, they go Iceman on us. It hits our Cosmo, though. Let's give them that Spider-Man meme. All right, we're getting cloning vats there. And I think, do we play the Sunspot and get another Sunspot back, or do we want another? Let's go for the tempo there. Let's go for the tempo with Lizard. Won't be able to be destroyed with, oh, they play that Swarm early. All right, so not gonna be 0 cost Swarms in their deck from a Colleen Wing. And we could get all of them out. We could get a Sunspot out, and we could get another Lizard out. -1 power. Is that what we want to do though? I think that should be fine. Let's get some tempo on all of those locations. All right, we don't want to place too many cards there. They go Cosmo in the middle, which means they're going to have another Cosmo. What do we want to do? We don't have a Dracula on hand yet. We can go Khazar right now. Actually, let's protect our Sunspot. Let's armor that Sunspot and that Iceman at that location. They go Jubilee. What are they gonna get in their Jubilee Casino? Get our America Chavez. Not the best, not the worst either. I think what we do is we finish it up. We finish up there. We finish up here. We get the ongoing abilities. And I guess we see what we're gonna do with their Red Skull, with our Red Skull. We won't be able to play Infinite. Although, is that what we want to do? Do we want to take all this back and play Infinite on the last turn? Now give us 8 total there. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Let's skip this turn. Let's get that Infinite out. We don't have Dracula to destroy it. We don't have 0 on our deck for that Red Skull. Let's go with the Infinite. Let's see where that plays out. They get the 20 power there. I think what we do is put the 20 power here, be 17 plus the 2. I think we still win. Let's go. This infinite win condition. Sunspot, are they going to do anything in that far left? They go far right. They got another devil dinosaur. Where'd they get that extra devil dinosaur? Oh, they played it, yeah, the cloning vats. But we still win. Miscalculated, but we still got the win there because they're infinite. So there's the ZooCula or the ZooCula, whatever you want to call this deck. It's all about zooing with Khazar and following up with that Dracula play. The good thing about this deck, only 3 pool 3 cards in there in 0 Dracula and Red Skull. I think the most important card in this deck is that Dracula. If you need to replace that Red Skull, if you need to replace that 0, they are replaceable, but that Dracula and that Sunspot armor and followed by that Infinite is going to be very important. You do want to use a lot of lower cost cards in this deck so that you can get rid of your hand, most of your hand on that final turn and just leave either Infinite or Red Skull for that Dracula discard. And you probably want to play a lot of, try to win that armor lane as well with whatever cards you have there, with whether it be Sunspot or some Khazar boosted cards or something. So you got a lot of great win conditions. Let me know how you enjoy this deck. As soon as I saw this deck, I'm like, oh, that is smart. That could get a lot of wins and fake out a lot of opponents. And it has. So hopefully you guys enjoy this deck. We got more Marvel Snap content coming. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Check me out on social media. If you want to continue to support the channel, check out some of the sponsors down below, but watch more of the videos on this channel. There's a bunch of other deck ideas that hopefully will help you with your Marvel Snap experience. I will see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump. ValleyFlyin out. I'll see you guys.